A-Wing Bricks asked a very interesting question. They asked if I could have a second go at life, but I retained all of my memories, what would I do different? First things first, I wouldn't. I absolutely would never take that opportunity. I would never go back and relive my life again. The biggest reason for this is that I have an amazing girlfriend who I am very happy to be with, and if I went back and changed things, I would not end up with her. And I don't want that. I'm happy being with her and I do not want to give up that chance. If I had to, if I was sent back in time and I had to relive my life over again, which would be horrible because I actually am very good at remembering things, especially very minute details from a long time ago. So there are a lot of things that I would remember, and boy, would I just not want to do that. But if I had to, the biggest thing I would do differently is that I would pay more attention in school. And I know that sounds like such a cliche answer, but it's true. It is what I would do. For most of my life until about 4 years ago, I didn't realize that I actually have dyslexia, and I really struggled in school through that, especially anytime that we had to do like a reading assignment or anything like that. I just really struggled with it. Never really understood math. Like I get it. It's just I'm a bit slower at learning math because it just takes a little bit extra for it to click for me. But when it clicks, I get it. Um, and there was just a lot of times that I just got distracted or just didn't care to pay attention or I just wasn't focused at all. And or especially like I never did my homework. I would always do my homework at school, and if I didn't finish it by the time I got home, then I didn't do it. And that led to lower grades, and that led to more problems. Like when I did my homework, I was getting good grades on it. I was always getting A's and B's on my homework, but I just almost never did it because it's not that I'm like stupid or anything. Quite the opposite. Like I know my stuff. Like I'm confident in saying I'm a fairly smart person. I just never took the time to actually do what I needed to do. And that also meant that like I didn't study for tests. I didn't study for like the ACT or the SAT as much as I should have. I didn't study for my AP exams as much as I should have. So I did fairly not that good on those, to be honest, which meant that I didn't get to go to the colleges that I wanted to go to, which meant that the college that I did get accepted to was one that was like my fifth or sixth choice, which when a better opportunity came up for me to, instead of going to college for that time, to instead go and travel for a bit. I took that opportunity where I met a lot of wonderful people, and it actually completely reevaluated my life. It helped me reevaluate my life, and in that time I spent a lot of time focusing on my writing, which is something that I really like to do. And because I was focusing more on my writing, I was in the right place at the right time to meet this wonderful girl who would end up becoming my girlfriend. That's kind of why, where it's like, if I went back in time and changed just that one thing, where I focused more on my schoolwork, the whole chain reaction that led me to my girlfriend probably wouldn't happen, and so that's why I wouldn't do it. The other big reason that I wouldn't do this is because since I'm 26 and I have a really good memory, I actually remember a lot of the darker days that have happened in our history. I know a lot of the younger kids here, probably like a decent portion of my audience, according to my analytics, is younger than 9/11. So most of you don't remember that. I have a very thorough memory of that. I also remember things like the Columbia shuttle disaster. I remember things like the Columbine shooting, Virginia Tech shooting. I remember a lot of things like that I would be helpless against. I would literally not be able to do a single thing to stop any of that. And I don't know if I would be able to handle that. I don't know if I would be able to live a life knowing these things are going to happen and not being able to do anything about it. Lego 66 asked if I would ever be willing to decal AV Figures' new Commandos. My answer, as I stall, is probably not. Mainly because commandos are a little weird to decal. I have tried. I've tried, and this is how it came out. Like, this is a figure that I completely decaled. You can see that the legs are messed up, and it's not great at all. Given this was 6 months ago at this point, this was a while ago that I tried to decal this. But the commandos are a little weird to do. Every figure that you see here from this line back, obviously except for like these pilots, I decaled all of these. This is all just me practicing decaling. I do enjoy it, but I also honestly don't like commandos that much. So decaling on things that are not like genuine Lego is a little more challenging. The Brickmeister, who is very active in my Discord, asked, "What is my favorite Star Wars video game?" He might have said Lego Star Wars video game. If it's Lego Star Wars, then the complete saga. If it's just Star Wars in general, the original Battlefront 2. The original Battlefront 2 wins every single time. I just forgot that was the game. Arden Rappaport asked, "How long have I been collecting Lego?" I've been collecting Lego for 13 years now. Bellingers asks, "What's my favorite kind of cheese?" Which I'm asking because my best friend is actually a cheesemonger. That is his official job title. Actually, I'm lactose intolerant, so Bacon said that they can guess that cats are my favorite animal and a big part of my life, but if cats didn't exist, what kind of pet would I have? And, well, cats aren't actually my favorite animal. That would be the elephant. But if we're talking about animals that can specifically be pets, then the obvious answer is dogs. Like I said, my girlfriend has 6 dogs. And I would also love to have like a proper aquarium, not like some small thing, but like a proper aquarium or even like a pond with some fish in it. I would also love to have hermit crabs. Those are really like the two that I always go to outside of cats and dogs. Because I just love that. I've always wanted like a chinchilla or like a hedgehog, but I don't know if I can have hedgehogs where I live. Um, but yeah, so if I couldn't have cats, I would have dogs. I actually wanted one when I first moved in here, but my schedule was so weird that I knew I couldn't take care of one, so I got a cat instead. If I couldn't have cats or dogs, then I would do hermit crabs and fish. Troll Vlogs, with an appropriate name, might I add, asks, "Why does my voice not match my face?" And I get this one so much, and I don't know. I don't have an answer to that. I was gonna make a joke and be like,
Well, you see, that's because this is my real voice and I just modulate it for all of you. But outside of doing this voice, I can't really do any other voices.
so I don't know. I don't actually really know what that means either. I've had people tell me that I sound younger than I look, and I will tell you that if I ever shave all this, which I won't, I'm gonna look like 10 years younger than I am, which is a big reason why I keep this because I don't like looking like I'm 16. But yeah, I get that a lot. I know like part of the raspiness is because the state that I live in is extremely dry, and part of it is because well, for these videos, I don't like taking those like super deep breaths. That's why this video keeps cutting, is so I can stop doing that. And instead, I just keep talking like this, and so it gets my voice drier. And part of that is because I just sound like that. Majestic Moose, who I definitely read as Magnetic Moose the first time, asked me who are the 10 worst Star Wars characters. And I actually, this is one of the few questions that I saw before recording this. Most of these I'm answering as I read. But I don't know. I can't think of 10. I can think of one, but I can't think of 10. And I was trying to even think of like joke answers, like, oh, that person in the background who did this, but I don't know. Like, my one legitimate answer is Haldo. And that's just because Haldo is an extremely poorly written and unnecessary character. I I don't really get why they went with her. I don't get why they killed off Akbar for Haldo. And like, look, Haldo is just a terrible character. If you like her, all the power to you. I don't really like whatever. For me personally, it was just so unnecessary. They were so aggressive. They were so rude, so mean. And then they tried to give it all justification, and it just did not work for me. I actually really don't mind Rose at all. I don't mind Ray at all. I think at least they have character. But Haldo, she is 1 through 10 on that list for me. Go Finder Triple Zero asks 2 questions. What mass-produced custom figure would I want the most, and what limited production figure would I want the most? For mass-produced, I would love an army of 332nd troopers, if that counts. I already have that, but I would still love it. Or like an Arc 5s, a proper like Clone Army Customs Arc 5s, I would be fine with. For limited, I want Tamino's Hulkbuster suit. If he ever gets that back in stock, or anyone happens to have one that they don't want, reach out to me in about a few weeks. RL, then a bunch of number asks, what is my favorite Clone Army Customs minifigure? That's a really great question. I actually don't know. I've got, obviously not all of these are Clone Army Customs. Most of, a lot of that is. I would probably say like, this Jesse is up there. I don't know if I would put Rex up there. Also, I love this Obi-Wan that I keep needing to show off. Also need to show off these two and this guy. Actually, pretty much everything here I still need to show off. These two are really cool. I'd probably go with those Clone Commandos, even though I don't really like Commandos. Crystal Customs asked, what Brick Vault set would I recommend? The Gunship. Angelica Hammer would like to know, what is the meaning of life? I don't know. I don't even have a joke for that. I was going to have a joke for that, but I don't know. Live it to the fullest. Be as kind as you can. DJ Does YouTube asked, who is my favorite Star Wars character? That is Ahsoka Tano. I should probably put that in the FAQ, I should say. Also said that they're just starting to get into Rebels after growing up with the Clone Wars and want to know what I think. Rebels is a great show. It's not as good as the Clone Wars because it is meant for a slightly younger audience, but it is still a great show. The season 2 finale of that is, I was going to say it's better than anything in the Clone Wars, except the Siege of Mandalore happened. So except the Siege of Mandalore, the season 2 finale of Rebels is so amazing, and I love it. And I love that they brought back Ahsoka. I love that whole fight sequence. Like, that is one of the best animated sequences of Star Wars ever. King Studios asked if I ever decaled any of my own figures. I want to point out again that this entire dude, it's so hard to point. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna do this. No. Maybe. Okay, down. This entire base plate is full of figures that I have decaled, including these 330, some of these 332nd that you see here. Not the entire base plate, like half of it. So yeah, I just Wolfpack, 332nd, regular clones, pretty much anything. Customs actually asked a second question that I didn't see, and they said if I could have any Star Wars animal as a pet, what would I pick? The Ewok. I know that they're technically like a sentient being with their whole, like, civilization and all, but imagine having an Ewok. Imagine how adorable that would be. Like, it would be like a super cuddly cat, like an extra cuddly cat, or like a teddy bear, Like, so I would pick that. Brick Timmy asked, what are my thoughts on Lego Monkey Kid? I have absolutely no idea what that is. I know it's like a big thing that a lot of people have been talking about. Looked into it, never interested me. But they also asked if I have any tips for smaller YouTubers. So to answer an earlier question, this Bo-Katan is really awesome from Clone Army Customs. As for tips for smaller YouTubers, they said they only have 31 subscribers. I'm going to tell you the same stuff that you're pretty much going to hear from anybody else. The first thing I'm going to tell you that you probably don't hear from anyone else, get yourself a good profile picture. At the time of recording this video, I don't remember what yours looks like. I think you actually had one, but get yourself a good profile picture and take the time to actually set up your channel. Give yourself a banner. Make yourself an intro and an outro. You can do all of that absolutely for free right now. Literally, if you just go onto Google, type in like free YouTube intro maker, you'll get a place. You'll probably find the same place that I found mine. Just take those extra steps just to make your channel look nice. Second, upload consistently. I upload every Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time or noon Eastern Time. Every single week, regardless of what's going on, I will upload those 3 days at that time. I might switch the upload time due to analytics, but for right now, point being, upload consistently. If you upload every single day, your viewers are going to expect you to upload every single day. If you upload 3 times a week, they're going to expect to see that 3 times a week. Whatever you do, be consistent about it. Second, take the time to make some decent thumbnails. It really actually It helps a whole lot. And third, even though you probably hate it, do remember to ask people to like, comment, and subscribe. Speaking of which, if you're watching this video, please remember to hit that like button, comment any other questions you have down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. It's really that easy, takes about 10 seconds to do. Also, without spamming yourself, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Just like you did here. You didn't spam yourself. You told me you have your own channel. Other people might see that and go to you. Go to those forums, go to different places that might be looking for this, and just put yourself out there. Don't like don't go there and be like, "Hey, I just started a new YouTube channel. Can you come and look at me?" Act like you belong. Have that confidence. Fake confidence gets you pretty far if you don't have real confidence. So just go there and be like, "Hey, look, I made a video if you want to come and check it out," or something like that. Like, that's what I did when I started my reviews. I went to different places and I went, "Dude, like, here's my review. Yeah, I've been doing this forever." And then people were very kind. They gave me some really good advice, and they helped with that. One more piece of advice that I just thought of, though, is to absolutely be yourself. Don't copy me. Don't copy M&R. Don't copy Bricks. Do your own thing. If people want to see M&R Productions, they want to see Bricks, they're going to go there. They're not going to go to you to see them. They want to go to you to see whatever you have to offer and what you can give. So be yourself always. Brickmeister also asked another question in which they said, what video editing program do I normally use? Right now, I'm just using the free one on my computer, but normally I use a program called VideoPad. It's about like $34 or so, and it's actually really good. I know a lot of people are going to tell you to use like Adobe Premiere or whatever. Honestly, unless you're planning to do like super special effects or anything like that, you don't really need to. Something like VideoPad does all the editing that I need. It allows me to put as many video tracks, as many audio tracks. It allows me to edit the audio, even though I do that in Audacity. It allows me to edit the videos, both in like cutting it, trimming it, speeding it up, slowing it down, changing like the color correction, all that stuff. I can do all of that there. So it's like, for 35 bucks, it's exactly what I need. Back to the previous question about advice, that's another thing that I want to say. Don't let what you have limit what you can do. In a lot of my hair looks white. In a lot of like the rest of this video, you saw some like boxes sitting behind me and everything. That's because that's what I started with. I literally just set up some cardboard panels on this table where this thing is now and used that as a light box instead. For Christmas, I was able to get this, but that's what I was doing. I just went to Target, I bought a poster board, I set it up, and that was it. That's what I did. Stefan Guessford asked 3 questions. Do I like Phase 1 helmets or Phase 2 better? I like Phase 2. Have I ever played Titanfall? No, but I really wish I had. And how are my cats doing? This is the reason that I moved off the couch, because Sirius is just sound asleep here, and CC is on the other side of the couch asleep in the sunlight as well. They're both doing well. Thank you for asking. The Pie asks, what's my favorite Star Wars set? Emphasis on set. That would be the original UCS Y-Wing. Conveniently, the Wolf from Hyrule actually asked, what is my favorite Lego Y-Wing model? Same thing. It would be that one. Pyro Firelord asked, what is my ultimate plan for this channel? And I know that I kind of answered this earlier. My hair really does look white. It's not. It's black. But I wanted to talk about this a little bit more because my website is being made right now. And part of what I want to do, along with sharing custom Lego to people, is I want to fix the market. There are a lot of people out there who sell decals, decaled figures, or instructions, and quite honestly charge way too much for it. From someone who is happy to support extra minifigures and all the minifigures that he makes because he does a wonderful job with them, I still don't think that they should cost $30, $40, $50. That custom Carolina that's sitting behind me was like $56, I think, and the only reason I got it was because it has that special meaning to me. But I would never pay that much for a custom figure otherwise. It's just not worth it, especially not a decal. And they really shouldn't. So like, I want to make my own decals to kind of help lower the market price on those. And same with the instructions. I don't think that instructions need to cost any more than $5 or maybe $10, and that includes the ones for thousands of pieces that have thousands and thousands of sets in it, because it's something that you do one time. And just to use Brickvault as the example, because they are known for selling their instructions, like they sell their Ghost. And yes, you know what? It probably took hundreds of hours to make the instructions for that Ghost. But every single time someone buys it, it's not like they're having to remake it or do any physical work in that moment. They already did the work. So I don't really see why it should cost $65 for something that you're not doing $65 worth of work for every single time. I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with me on that. I know of Brickvault, like they have actually explained why it costs that much, and I understand it. I don't think it should. I mean, it's a PDF, and yes, there's XML sheet, there's like stickers sometimes, there's a lot of other stuff in there. I still think $10 is a reasonable asking price, and I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that, but that's also why for my instructions I'm never going to charge more than that. Even if I make something that is like, if I ever do, it'll be for a very specific reason. Like I've thought about before I lost the file, I thought about with my World Trade Center project of selling instructions for that, but all of that money would have gone specifically into making the model and donating the rest to the foundation in New York. And I was, so something like that I'd probably charge more for. But for my, Bark Speeder, for my Crab Droid, even for my UTAT, I don't think they needed. I'm not going to charge $50 for this UTAT. I'm not going to charge you $50 for a PDF. Like, and I know, and look, last time I said this, people were like, well, of course it's a PDF. What other kind of file do you expect? That's not the point. The point that I'm saying is that, like, I don't feel like if I charged you $50 for the instructions for my UTAT, I don't feel like you would get a $50 product out of it. No matter how good or how perfect those instructions are, if I made it exactly like Lego, you still would not be getting a $50 product out of it because it's just not worth that much money. I have no idea how long this video is because usually I'm recording audio afterwards. All I know is that I've recorded a lot. So thank you all for all of your questions. Thank you for continuing your support. A few of you have asked how can you like if you could donate to help me with the hard drive, how can you do that? I'm not going to ask you to. I won't. And the only reason I'm saying this is because I've had like 10 of you reach out over Instagram and YouTube asking this. If you really want to, there will be the email in the description down below. You can PayPal any amount to there. A dollar helps. You don't have to. And again, I'm going to be very clear about this. You don't have to. This is only for those of you who really, really want to. Or actually, I would prefer that you signed up for my Patreon because that actually helps me way more directly. And if you do that, you can join the wonderful people who you will see once I stop talking. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Okay, so this is Future John here. I was actually just editing this video when one more question came in. Palpatine Bricks asks, what's the best way to sell custom instructions as they are looking at doing so? Well, I don't actually know if there is a best way, but one, put it on Rebrickable. Look, selling anything is like 90% marketing. So you're going to have to put it on Rebrickable, and then you're going to have to put yourself out there. You're going to have to let people know that it exists and really make it a thing. I don't know what kind of model you're making. If you're making like a UCS model or something that's minifig scale, consider reaching out to people like Brickvault. Sirius is meowing his head off at me again. Consider reaching out to Brickvault. They might even accept it. Or once my website goes live, I'm actually considering selling instructions on there as well, if that's something that you or others might be interested in doing.